intellectual exchange has today grown into a remarkable journey of 270 conversations, and today we are into the 271st talk series. And as the moderator, it is my honor to open today's gathering and acknowledge the efforts of all speakers, participants, guests of honor and supporters who have made this journey possible. And today we are not only celebrating a milestone of 270 talks and 270 ideas, but we are also celebrating a movement of ideas and continuity as well. The GSTS talk series returns like a timeless rag, rooted in tradition yet open to new improvisations. Much like Indian classical dance, where every movement carries memory and every rhythm invokes lineage, the series celebrates the dialogues, reflections, and collaborations that shape the creative and intellectual pulse of the GSTS community, envisioned as an initiative that honors a shared legacy. The talk series brings back speakers, scholars, educators, dancers, and thinkers whose insight uh, grace a stage like the graceful arcs of mudras and the eloquent footwork of nritya. And as they engage with the platform, their voices become part of a larger choreography of continuity, creativity, and collective growth. So, with the same spirit that binds Guru and Shishya rhythm and expression, tradition, and transformation, we welcome you all to the another captivating uh, talk series of this initiative called Graduate Scholars Talk Series. And it also gives me immense pleasure to acknowledge the remarkable achievements of this initiative over the years. It has been honored three times by the Doordarshan and has also received recognition in the Times of India under the G20 Changemaker Summit. One of our sessions was uh, broadcast live, further amplifying the reach and impact of our work. Alongside these recognitions, we have also forged meaningful collaborations with educators and academic institutions across the country. And these accomplishments stand as a strong testimony to the dedication, vision, and consistent efforts of GSTS team. And the team comprises the founder and advisor, Dr. Manish Karmawar, and the moderators, Mr. Ajay, Mr. Shubham, Mr. Saurav, Ms. Manvi Saraswat, Ms. Samriddhi Kanpal, and Mr. Manthan Tarle, Mr. Ankit Kumar, and Ms. Shrishti Rajput, whose contributions have been essential to the growth and success of this initiative. Now, when I have introduced you all to our initiative, it is time to invite today's guest of honor for this 271st session of Talk Series. We very warmly welcome Dr. Ajay Kumar as the guest of honor for this 271st GSTS Talk Series. सर आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है ग्रेजुएट स्कॉलर्स टॉक सीरीज पे. हालांकि ये कहना आपके लिए और ये सुनना कोई नई बात नहीं है. यू हैव ऑलवेज बीन अ कांस्टेंट सपोर्टर for this initiative. And before I invite you for your initial remarks and for your permission to proceed the session further, I would like to introduce you to our today's audience. So, Dr. Ajay Kumar is currently serving as an assistant professor in the Department of History, Shyam Lal College, Evening University of Delhi, and is simultaneously pursuing his PhD with senior research fellowship from the Central University of Himachal Pradesh. With an MPhil in Buddhist studies and NET JRF qualifications, his academic profile is strengthened by multiple research publications, paper presentations, and active participation in national conferences and workshops. His teaching journey spans across prestigious Delhi University colleges, including Shyam College, Evening, Shahid Bhagat Singh College, Aryabhatta College, and Ramanujan College. Alongside his academic excellence, he has been a constant pillar of support throughout the 5 year journey of our continuous talk series, contributing wholeheartedly and ensuring its steady growth with unwavering commitment. And further, today the speaker is certainly not into this GSTS false, not into this GSTS Reconnect series, but today's guest of honor certainly falls into GST's constant Reconnect series. So now I would like to invite you, sir, for your initial remarks and for your permission to proceed the session further.
Thank you, Sailendra. And uh, first of all, uh, uh, all thoughtful things goes associate with these talks to GSTS talk 271 uh, GSTS talk. A special thanks to Manish sir, uh, जो फर्स्ट टू सर फर्स्ट से लेकर आपने 271 तक हमें इस नॉलेजेबल प्लेटफॉर्म से जोड़े रखा है, इसके लिए आपको बहुत बहुत थैंक्स। आज का जो टॉपिक है खुशी अलानी द्वारा, जो रील टू रियलिटी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन इन क्लासिकल डांस जो है, ये आज के डेट में मुझे लगता है कि बहुत ही रिलेवेंट टॉपिक है, हमें इस पे जरूर बात करनी चाहिए। ठीक है, और मैं बहुत ही ज्यादा एक्साइटेड हूँ कि जो है खुशी जो है एक बीटेक जो है स्टूडेंट है, ठीक है, और जो है वो एक आर्ट्स के सब्जेक्ट पे जो है प्रेजेंटेशन दे रही है। तो बेस्ट ऑफ लक खुशी, यू कैन
Thank you, sir.
स्टार्ट।
All right. Give me a minute, Khushi. Let me just. Yeah. So thank you, sir, and we will also looking forward for your final remarks over today's topic. And as we celebrate the 271st talk session of our continuous intellectual journey, today's session turns towards the vibrant world of Indian classical dances and art, from where tradition, storytelling, and cultural memory flow together like rhythm and movement. And the topic from reels to reality transformation in classical dance invites the audience to explore how classical dance has evolved in the age of digital media, new aesthetics, um, and shifting audience engagement. So now I am welcoming, inviting, and handing over the screen to Miss Khushi. And as Sir has already said that she is a BTech student in data science and analyst from JECRC University. Now I'm handing over the screen to you, Miss Khushi.
यतो हस्त ततो दृष्टि यतो दृष्टि ततो मनः यतो मनः ततो भावः यतो भावः यतो रसः. This beautiful slok explains the journey of Indian classical dance. Where the hand goes, the eyes follow. Where the eyes go, the mind follows. Where the mind goes, emotion is created. And where there is emotion, there is ras, the experience of the audience. This means that classical dance is not just about movements, it is a complete process from techniques to emotion to experience. For centuries, Indian classical dance followed this journey. It was never meant to be rushed, it was meant to be felt slowly. But today, in a world where everything moves faster than our own thoughts, this entire journey is often experienced in less than 30 seconds. And still we say, wow, that was beautiful. But was it complete? Namaste everyone. Before I begin, I would like to sincerely thanks to the Graduate Scholars Talk series for giving me this opportunity and platform to share my thoughts today. It is truly an honor to be a part of a space where ideas, experience, and perspectives from different fields are brought together through meaningful conversation. And I feel especially grateful to be able to speak today about something that is not only an art form to me, but a journey that has deeply shaped the way I understand discipline, expression, emotion, and culture. Respected guest of honor, Mr. Ajay Kumar, thank you very much for gracing this occasion with your valuable presence. On behalf of everyone present here, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to you for taking out our precious time to join us. Thank you once again. My name is Khushi and I'm from Jaipur, Rajasthan.
Kusi, Kusi, can you fix your sound because you're it's not properly coming out.
Hello, is it
Yes,
clear?
now, huh.
I am currently in the final year of my BTech in Data Science and Analytics from JECRC University. But beyond academics, there is one journey that has shaped me much more deeply. For the past 9 years, I have been deeply immersed in learning Kathak, a journey through which I have grown not only as a dancer but as a true learner of the art. कथक सिर्फ एक डांस फॉर्म नहीं है, ये एक घरानों की परंपराओं से मिलकर बना हुआ एक समृद्ध और जीवंत कला रूप है। समय के साथ भारत के अलग अलग क्षेत्रों में कथक ने अलग पहचान और शैलियां विकसित की, जिन्हें हम घरानों के रूप में जानते हैं। जयपुर घराना, जो राजस्थान के जयपुर दरबारों में विकसित हुआ, अपनी तेज सत्कार, जटिल लयकारी, पावरफुल चक्रों और रिदम पर असाधारण पकड़ के लिए जाना जाता है। इस घराने में ताल और लय की गहराई को बहुत महत्व दिया गया। वहीं लखनऊ घराना, जो नवाब वाजिद अली शाह के संस्करण में फला फूला, नजाकत से नफाजत, भाव और अभिनय के लिए विशेष रूप से पहचाना गया। यहाँ कथक सिर्फ नृत्य नहीं बल्कि अभिव्यक्ति और कहानी कहने का माध्यम भी बना। बनारस घराना, उसने अपनी अलग पहचान, नटवरी बोल, अलग निकास और भक्ति भाव से जुड़ी अभिव्यक्ति के माध्यम से बनाई। इस घराने में पारंपरिक और डिवोशनल एलिमेंट्स का एक अलग ही सुंदर संवाद देखने को मिलता है। और बाद में रायगढ़ घराना कथक में एक नई दिशा दी। महाराज चक्रधर सिंह के संरक्षण में इस घराने ने ट्रेडिशनल कथक वोकेबुलरी के साथ नए रिदमिक कॉम्पोजिशंस, रचनात्मक प्रयोग और कोरियोग्राफिक इनोवेशन को भी स्थान दिया। लेकिन इन सब घरानों को एक चीज सबसे ज्यादा बांध के रखती है, वो है परंपरा। और इसी परंपरा का सबसे गहरा रूप है गुरु शिष्य परंपरा। भारतीय शास्त्रीय कलाओं में गुरु शिष्य एक टीचर नहीं होता, वह कला को जीने का दृष्टिकोण देता है। पुराने समय में शिष्य कई वर्षों तक अपने गुरु के साथ रहकर सीखते हैं। यह शिक्षा सिर्फ क्लासरूम या फिक्स सिलेबस तक सीमित नहीं होती। सीखना ऑब्जर्वेशन से होता है, रियाज से होता है और धीरे धीरे गुरु के साथ रहकर होता है। गुरु शिष्य परंपरा सिर्फ मूवमेंट्स, टुकड़े या कॉम्पोजिशन सीखने की प्रक्रिया नहीं है, यह एक जीवन पद्धति है जहाँ शिष्य सिर्फ नृत्य नहीं सीखता बल्कि अनुशासन, साधना, धैर्य, समर्पण और कला के प्रति श्रद्धा भी सीखता है। टेक्निक से लेकर भाव तक और रिदम से लेकर स्पिरिचुअलिटी तक सब कुछ धीरे धीरे गुरु से शिष्य तक संचारित होता है। And perhaps that is why classical dance has survived for centuries, because it was not only performed, it was passed down. And being able to learn within the tradition has been one of the most meaningful part of my life. And in these years, what I have received is not just training, but discipline, patience, and a completely different way of understanding expression. I had the privilege of learning under the Guru Girdhari Ji Maharaj, where I'm still where I didn't just learn movements, but learned how to listen to rhythm, how to stay grounded, and how to respect the art. And today, I continue this journey under my guru, Prerna Guruji, where I'm still learning, still unlearning, and still discovering new layers of this art every single day. In classical dance, a guru doesn't just teach steps. They step the way you experience the art itself. And whatever I am able to present today is a reflection of that parampara. For years, Indian classical dance existed in a space of time, patience, and depth. Whether it is Kathak, Bharatanatyam, or Odissi, the art form were experienced, not consumed. They were performed on stage, in temples, at cultural gatherings, and festivals where the audience didn't just watch, they stayed. They stayed with the rhythm, they stayed with the story. They stayed until the dance slowly revealed itself. Even the audience engaged with classical art earlier was very different. There was once a time when families would wait to watch classical performance on Doordarshan, where complete recitals were broadcast with patience and continuity. Just, it's not. Is it now visible, PPT?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry for the interruption. The experience of art itself was slower, more immersive, and deeply attentive. In earlier times, classical performances were not designed around short attention spans or instant impact. For example, performances by Pandit Birju Maharaj Ji were never experienced through speed alone. Sometimes he would spend several minutes exploring just one emotion, one line of poetry, or even a single glance, allowing the audience of slowly enter the world of the performance. The beauty was not only in the moment itself, but in time. The audience spent experiencing it. Similarly, Bharatanatyam exponent Rukmani Devi Arundali believed that classical dance was not merely performance, it was a spiritual and artistic discipline. Her productions were carefully designed with attention to music, costume, expressions, silence, and atmosphere. Her production, the audience was not expected to consume the art quickly. They were invited to immerse themselves within it. As technology became part of everyday life, the way we experience art and began to change. And with the rise of platforms like Instagram and YouTube, dance moved from the stage to the screen. And in that shift, something fundamental began to change. Not just one thing, but three very important aspects of how we experience dance. First, time. Classical dance, which once unfolded over 20 or 30 minutes, now often exists within 15 to 30 seconds. A journey becomes a glimpse. A complete narrative becomes a single striking movement. Second, attention. Earlier, audience arrived with the time in their hands, ready to sit, watch, and absorb. Today, the audience arrives with a thumb. They scroll, and if something does not capture them instantly, disappears just as quickly. The third, intention. Earlier, dance was created to be experienced. It invited the audience to stay, to feel, to understand. But now, very often, it is created to be noticed, to catch the eye, to hold attention, to leave an immediate impression. And is And this is where the real transformation lies. It is not just that the duration has changed, it is that the purpose has shifted. And maybe the biggest transformation is not happening in dance alone. Maybe it is happening within us because the way we consume art often reflects the way we live our life. Earlier, people were comfortable sitting with one emotion for a long time. They could listen patiently, watch patiently, feel patiently. But today, we are constantly trained to move to the next thing, the next video, the next trend, the next distraction. And somewhere in between all these moments, our attention has become shorter. And classical dance, especially forms like Kathak, depends on presence. The ability to stay, to observe, to slowly enter an emotion. Because in classical dance, the most powerful movements are not only the fastest ones. Sometimes the most powerful movement is simply a pause. Because in classical art, even silence can become a part of the performance. A still glance, a controlled breath, a moment slow enough for emotions to reach the audience. But in today's digital world, stillness often feels uncomfortable. If something does not move quickly, we assume nothing is happening. And maybe that is why classical art also feel different today. Because it asks us to do something we are slowly forgetting how to do, to slow down. And perhaps that is exactly we still need it. Not only to preserve tradition, but to preserve our ability to feel deeply. And maybe classical dance still survives today because somewhere, even now, people are searching for depth in a world full of speed. And perhaps that search is what keeps the art alive. This transformation is not only emotional or cultural, it is also deeply connected to the way digital platforms functions today. Most social media platforms are designed around one single thing: attention. The faster content captures attention, the more visible it becomes. And because of that, creators constantly adapt themselves to shorter formats, faster pacing, and instant engagement. And naturally, classical dance has also entered this system, and it is now expected to communicate immediately. Today, many dancers are not only thinking about rhythm, expression, or storytelling, they are also thinking about cameras, angles, editing, trends, reach, and audience retention. And somewhere, this changed the experience of performing itself. Because traditionally, classical dance was built around immersion. The audience observed details slowly: the footwork, the abhinay, the silence between movements, and the emotional transition. But digital platforms differently. If something does not create impact instantly, attention moves away immediately. And this creates a very unusual pressure for artists today to preserve depth inside a format designed for speed. And perhaps the most interesting part of this transformation is this: social media has not only changed how art is presented, it has changed what audience now expect from artists. Today, artists are expected to be performers, creators, editors, marketers, and content strategists all at the same time. A classical dancer no longer only practice riyas. They also learn lighting, framing, editing, trends, and audience engagement. And somewhere, the definition of success has also started changing. Earlier, success in classical dance was measured through years of training, depth of understanding, and the ability of emotionally move an audience. But today, numbers of often can become visible before depth does. Viewers, followers, shares, reach. And while these numbers create visibility, they cannot always measure artistic depth. Because some performances are not to go viral. Some performances are meant to stay quietly within the audience, to be remembered, to be stayed. And perhaps that is something very important to think about. In a digital world, what becomes popular and what becomes meaningful are not always the same thing. And maybe that is where classical dance still teaches us something valuable, that not every experience has to be immediate, not every emotion has to be loud, and not everything meaningful can be measured in numbers. Because sometimes the deepest impact happens silently. And perhaps today, another important question emerges. In the age of digital content, what does authenticity really mean? Because technology can now enhance almost everything. Lightning can be edited, expressions can be retaken, mistakes can be cut, movements can be perfected. And while that creates visually beautiful performances, it also changes the nature of live art. Because classical dance was never only about perfection, it was also about presence, the honesty of the moment, the emotion that existed only once, the connection between performer and audience that cannot be repeated in exactly the same way again. And maybe that is why live performances still feel different. Because on stage, there are no pause button, no retakes, no edits. There is only presence. And perhaps that is what makes classical art so human. Not flawless perfection, but real emotional experience. And maybe this is where classical dance still quietly resists the culture of instant content. Because it reminds us that beauty does not always come from speed. Sometimes it comes from sincerity. And perhaps that is why, even today, after centuries, these art forms still continue to move people. Not because they are fast enough for the algorithm, but because they are honest enough for human emotion. So perhaps the question today is not how do we stop technology? Because technology will continue to evolve, platforms will continue to change, and contents will continue moving faster. Perhaps the real question is how do we protect depth within a world that constantly demands speed? And maybe the answer is not the answer is not in rejecting digital platforms, but in learning how to use them more mindfully. Perhaps short form content should become a doorway, not the final destination. In fact, even Pandit Birju Maharaj ji often emphasized that while technology can introduce people to classical dance, people, true understanding of the art still continues years of riyaz, immersion, observation, and the guidance of the guru. Technology can create access, but it cannot fully replace live experience within the art. A reel, a reel can introduce someone to the art, but it should not replace the experience of truly engaging with it. And maybe audience too have a role to play. To slow down occasionally, to experience art without distraction, to sit through an entire performance, to listen with patience, because art slowly becomes what society rewards. And if we reward only speed and instant stimulation, artists still naturally feel pressure to create only for immediacy. But if we begin valuing depth again, perhaps art will still return to the depth as well. And maybe institutions, cultural spaces, teachers, and digital creators all share their responsibility to create space where classical art is not only presented but understood, not only watched but truly experienced. Because preserving classical dance is not only about preserving a tradition, it is about preserving patience, presence, emotion, and our ability to feel something deeply. And perhaps that is why this conversation matters beyond dance itself. Because in world constantly asking us to move faster, classical art still quietly remind us that depth cannot be rushed. And maybe that is not its weakness. Maybe that is its power. As someone who belongs both to the world of classical dance and to the generation shaped by screens, I do not believe we must choose between tradition and technology. I believe we must learn how to carry both with awareness, to allow technology to expand the reach of art without allowing it to reduce the soul of the art. Because perhaps the future of classical dance does not belong only to the stage and not only to the screen either. Perhaps its future lies somewhere in between, a space where tradition continues to protect depth and technology allows the depth to travel further than even before. And if we are able to protect that balance, then classical dance will not only disappear in the digital age, it will evolve without losing its essence. And perhaps that is what true preservation really means. Not resisting change, but ensuring that while the form evolves, the soul remains untouched. Because some experiences are not to be consumed instantly, they are meant to be lived, felt, and remembered. Thank you and namaste.
Uh, thank you, Khushi. That was really a very wonderful session. Once again, another wonderful session. And speaking upon the Indian classical dances under one panorama, that is art, and how they have been affecting by so many factors. And in postmodern world, social media, the current social media is, of course, being one of them. Let me just ask a few questions because after the presentation we proceed to the Q&A session. So let me just ask a few questions because you have also talked about कि जब हम इंडियन क्लासिकल डांसेस की बात करते हैं तो इंडियन क्लासिकल डांसेस की अपनी एक वोकेबुलरी होती है, अपनी एक ग्रामर होती है और उस ग्रामर पे बेस्ड उन डांसेस की अपनी एक टेक्निक्स होती हैं और डिफरेंट डिफरेंट टेक्निक्स उसमें फॉलो की जाती हैं. And the current concept of social media, whether on Instagram or YouTube or anywhere, is आप बोल भी रहे थे अपने प्रेजेंटेशन में कि बहुत शॉर्ट कर रहे हैं वो टाइमिंग को, रील्स देख लें या यूट्यूब शॉर्ट्स देख लें. तो हाउ how or in what ways these reels or short videos are simplifying or diluting the essence of classical dance grammar and hence its techniques?
Okay, so I would like to answer this question as we learn a language, simple language, we start with the grammar, not by the sentence itself. That's way I'll connect the classical dance also. पहले इतना बड़ा बोल या पूरा एक तोड़ा टुकड़ा करने से पहले हम बहुत सिंपल स्टेप्स सीखते हैं rather than making the videos and contents. हम ये दिखाते हैं कि चलो हमने सीख तो लिया, बट डिसाइड दैट वो केवल रीटेक्स और इसमें हम अपना टाइम कंज्यूम कर लेते हैं. जो परफेक्ट रियाज होता है गुरु के अंडर पे, वो एक ही चीज को हम 10 बार रिपीट करते हैं, वो हम कंटेंट में नहीं इन्वॉल्व करते, नहीं क्रिएट करते. जबकि अगर हमको कंटेंट बनाना है rather देन वो कट्स लेकर और वो बिल्कुल सिंप्लीफाइड चीज का कंटेंट बनाने से बेटर है कि वो रियाज करने का एक मोटिवेशन भी सामने वाले को देना चाहिए कि बिफोर मेकिंग दैट 30 seconds रील, उससे पहले हमने जो रियाज किया वो भी एज एन कंटेंट में दिखाना चाहिए. और रियाज वोकेबुलरी इसलिए भी इम्पोर्टेंट है बिकॉज हम एक्चुअल आपने स्टेज परफॉर्मेंसेस देखी हो तो वो 90 मिनट्स की भी होती है. आई एम लर्निंग फ्रॉम गुरु प्रेरणा श्रीमाली जी, एंड एवरी मंथ एक संडे को हर एक आर्टिस्ट परफॉर्म करता है फॉर 90 कंटिन्यूस मिनट्स. कैन यू रियली इमेजिन 1.5 आवर वो परफॉर्म करता है और हम वही चीज एक 30 seconds की वीडियो में दिखा देते हैं, विच इज नॉट एट ऑल कनेक्टिंग. सो दैट्स वाई वी वॉन्ट कि आप रील्स बनाओ, कंटेंट शेयर करो, बट जस्ट टू टेक इंस्पिरेशन की ओ वाओ समथिंग न्यू इज देयर, समथिंग न्यू इज हैपनिंग, बट जो उसका रूट्स है वो मिस नहीं करो.
ऑल राइट, सो लाइक जो बेसिक्स हैं उसकी इंफॉर्मेशन भी साथ ही साथ चलनी
साथ
चाहिए
ही साथ
ताकि
वो भी देना
या
चाहिए.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So since you were talking about कि inspiration जो है वो root से हमें मिलती है, so ये जो digital platforms हैं, are they serving more as a bridges to connect youth to the classical traditions, or they are more, risking or misrepresenting the art forms, the classical art forms?
एक्चुअली इट इज बोथ द वे करेक्ट. हमने कुछ ऐसे डांस फॉर्म्स देखे हैं जो हमको पता भी नहीं था, वो हमको रील्स और कंटेंट से पता चले हैं कि ओ वाओ दैट दैट डांस फॉर्म आल्सो एग्जिस्ट, ओके दैट इज आल्सो देयर. हमको केवल कुछ डांस फॉर्म से पता थे, बट there is one positive thing about digital content कि we get to know more information about dance. We can, it's an easy access कि जो नहीं ले सकता classes उसके लिए content के through करना ठीक है, एक information हो गया. बट अगर हम उसका रूट कॉज देखें या उसी पे बेस्ड रहें ओनली ऑन द कॉन्टेंट्स, दैट इज नॉट ओनली द लर्निंग. यू एक्चुअल नीड अ परफेक्ट रियाज. हम छोटे बच्चों को भी एक सेंटेंस अराउंड 10 times लिखवाते कि उसको याद हो जाए, उसका वो रूट से कनेक्टेड रहे. हम किसी भी चीज में जाए, अगर हम रूट से ही कनेक्टेड नहीं है, विल फॉल अपार्ट इजीली, एंड that is not the way of learning.
All right, so it is a vice versa process until or unless the
Yes,
research and practice is not being done correctly.
exactly.
The second last question which I am asking you is that the very intricate details of classical dance,
Yes,
the tal, ras, and mudras. Because when it is about classical dance, it doesn't like कि आप सिर्फ उसमें dance ही कर रहे हो. The music is
exactly.
also there, the
Music also.
percussions or yeah, the instruments is also there. So can these intricates or the nuances of tal, ras, and mudras be effectively taught or communicated? I should rather use the term communicated through these short form videos or even through a little of long form videos.
Yes, exactly. Because only dance is not only dance is not only thing we can do. Uh, sorry to say. I mean, केवल डांस ही नहीं है जो हम करते हैं, उसको बांधने के लिए हमें उसके पिलर्स चाहिए. ताल, इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स, एक स्पीकर बोलने के लिए. तो कोई भी हम परफॉर्मेंस करते हैं, लाइव परफॉर्मेंस, उसके साइड में इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स वाले बैठते हैं, एक पढ़ंत करता है, बोलता है, तो जाके वो पूरा एक परफॉर्मेंस बनता है. सेकेंडली, जो स्टेज है, हमारा स्टेज बहुत मैटर करता है, उसकी लाइटनिंग बहुत मैटर करती है, वो पूरा एक एनवायरनमेंट बनता है, उसी से एक वो परफॉर्मेंस आती है. हम कंटेंट केवल डांस का बनाते हैं, और स्टूडेंट्स में आजकल ये बहुत ज्यादा है कि केवल डांस सीख लिया, बट जो इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स उसमें यूज होते हैं वो भी उसके रूट्स हैं, हम उसको सीखना भूल जाते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल तबला यूज होता है, हारमोनियम यूज होता है, हम उससे, और पखावज यूज होता है. हम जब इन तीनों को सीखते हैं तो हमको लर्निंग की और कैपेसिटी हमारी बढ़ जाती है. जो कथक डांस को सीखने का और नजरिया है वो भी बदलता है कि मैंने तो डांस के थ्रू ये सीखा था, अब मैं उसको, अगर मैं तबले के थ्रू सीखूं तो अच्छा ये बोल या फिर ये चीज और क्लियर हो गई मुझे. तो जो लर्नर होता है उसका माइंड और एक्सपेंड होता है उसको सीखने से. तो यस, इट इज ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट टू लर्न द म्यूजिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स ऑल्सो वाइल यू आर परफॉर्मिंग.
Yeah, all right. And I think because नृत्य quite as a result संगीत को रेजोनेट करता है, और संगीत की जो बेसिक परिभाषा है वो यही है कि बायन गादन बायन
गायन
अ, बा,
गायन
बा,
नृत्य.
बादन गायन और नृत्य के सामंजस्य को संगीत कहते हैं. सो दिस इज द बेसिक डेफिनेशन, एंड दैट्स व्हाई ऑल दीज small yet very important components effectively matters behind the Indian classical dances. All right,
Even
that was
sir, even
yeah.
one costumes in classical dance are also important. As of now कि हम डांस तो चलो पहले से जाके आया ही. The students who are wearing costumes are also like literally different. आजकल उन्होंने कॉस्ट्यूम में भी जेंजी इफेक्ट डाल दिया है कि हम चुन्नी भी नहीं पहनेंगे, हम बेल्ट भी नहीं लगाएंगे, हम आलता भी नहीं लगाएंगे, हमको ऐसा नहीं करना, हमको बहुत सिंपल चाहिए. नो, वो उसकी जो ऑथेंटिसिटी है ना वो कॉस्ट्यूम में भी वो मिस कर देते हैं, जो कि वो बहुत गलत है. सो दैट्स ऑल्सो यू शुड कंटेंट में ये भी दिखाना चाहिए कि नहीं, यू मतलब इवॉल्व करो बट उसके रूट्स को आप नहीं छेड़ो.
Yeah, authenticity should not be compromised at any cost.
एग्जैक्टली.
Yeah, all right. So that was really a very wonderful Q&A session. And the last question which I'm asking you is कि what was your experience? आपका अनुभव क्या था इस प्लेटफॉर्म पर? आपने पहली बार अपनी टॉक दी है, अपनी बात रखी है, तो आपका वक्तव्य कैसा रहा और क्या आपका अनुभव था? आप क्या साझा करना चाहेंगे आज की ऑडियंस के साथ?
It was my first experience, although it was very good. There were something and little technical issues through PPT also, but although it was very good. जो चीज मैं सोच रही थी काफी टाइम से, जो हम लोग एज ए डांसर्स भी अपने अपने डिस्कस करते हैं कि हमने, लाइक आई एम लर्निंग फ्रॉम 9 years, तो 9 years की जर्नी में भी मैंने बहुत से चेंजेस देखे हैं. तो मैं उस 9 years की समरी को आज ये प्रेजेंट कर पाई एंड अ वेरी amazing platform. So that was also very grateful for me also, and thankful to Manish sir, Ajay sir. Thank you so much for listening and for understanding the depth of the classical dance. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Khushi. It was really a very wonderful session indeed. And proceeding the session further, I would like to invite a guest of honor, Dr. Ajay Kumar sir, once again for his final remarks.
शैलेंद्र,
For
अभी
his,
तो अभी there are two things more.
what, sir?
Speaker of the month, उसके बाद करेंगे.
Okay. Uh, okay. So let me just let me first announce the speaker of the month for the month of April. So we had four speakers. Mr. Abhash, who gave her talk on Indian cinema and the Afro-Indian imagination. Then Miss Megha on Bihari cuisine. Then Mr. Shams on epistemic violence, and then Miss Kajal on miniature paintings. And the speaker of the month for the month April is Miss Kajal, and she gave her talk on miniature paintings. So congratulations, Miss Kajal, and taking this opportunity, I would like to invite you also for your few words on this privilege and on this wonderful opportunity you got.
Hello. Hi. Good evening, everyone. Before I begin, I would like to congratulate today's speaker, Khushi. It was an amazing presentation, and it was truly a pleasure listening to it. And I
काजल,
think,
कैमरा ऑन कर सकते हो if possible on.
yeah, yes, sir. Let me just see. So camera. Let me just see.
Okay,
some
go ahead.
issues.
No issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, uh, It was an amazing presentation, Khushi, and I think we all gained something valuable from the discussion. I am extremely grateful and honored to receive the Speaker of the Month. I would sincerely like to thank the Graduate Scholars Talk Series for providing such a meaningful platform where all the students are encouraged to, present, question, and engage with different ideas beyond the classroom, and they can actually showcase their own personal interest as well. And one thing that I really like about GSTS is how they try to take everyone's topic interest and focus on the relevance and of it in the contemporary time as well. My presentation, as Shailendra Bhai has already told, was on beyond miniature paintings. It was titled Beyond the Imperial Atelier, Tracing the Roots, Rise and Material Culture of Indian Miniature Painting. And I explored the miniature painting from the beginning, from the early Jain Pala school to the regional school and to the contemporary relevance today. And presenting on a subject that I personally care about, was especially art history, made this experience even more meaningful for me. And I really enjoyed the experience. Special thanks to Manish sir for being so patient with me and guiding me throughout my journey. I would also like to thank my moderator, Shailendra Bhaiya. He was really helpful. And all my friends who helped me listen patiently and shared their suggestions and motivated me throughout. This opportunity has been a truly enriching and memorable experience for me. I'm sincerely thankful for the encouragement and appreciation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kajal. And once again, lots of congratulations for this one achievement. Now, before inviting next speaker, I would like to invite our guest of honor, Dr. Ajay Kumar sir, for his final remarks, for his final thoughts, and if he has some suggestions for today's speaker and for her topic. Please, sir.
Okay, thank you, Slinder. Once again, खुशी, आपके टॉक से तो ये हमें पता चल गया कि आप जो है एक्सपर्ट हैं इस फील्ड की. हमारे पास जो नॉलेज है ना, यू आर प्रोफेसर, तो हमारे पास हिस्ट्री का नॉलेज है और हमें हर चीज जो है वो थोड़ा बहुत जो है पढ़ना पड़ता है. ठीक है, डांस है, ठीक है, और ये सब चीज जो है हमारा सिलेबस का पार्ट है. तो बस मैं अपने ऑडियंस को ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि आपने ये बताया कि आप जो है कथक सीख रही है. ठीक है, तो हमारे यहाँ पे जो है इंडियन ट्रेडिशन में जो है 8 टाइप जो है मेजर जो है ये डांस फॉर्म, क्लासिकल डांस फॉर्म है. ठीक है, जैसे कि भरतनाट्यम है तमिलनाडु में, कथक जो है नॉर्दर्न इंडिया में है, कुचिपुड़ी आंध्र प्रदेश में है, उड़ीसा में ओडिसी है, मोहिनीअट्टम केरला में है. ठीक है, और मणिपुरी डांस है वो मणिपुरी में है, छाऊ जो है ईस्टर्न इंडिया में, और सतारिया जो है वो असम में जो है. हाँ, क्लासिकल डांस है. कथक जो है मैं ऑडियंस को बताना चाहूंगा कि नॉर्दर्न इंडिया में स्पेशली यूपी से जो है, यूपी का एक क्लासिकल डांस जो है, और आज की डेट में तो पूरा अगर हम नॉर्दर्न इंडिया को बोले कि पूरा नॉर्दर्न इंडिया का एक क्लासिकल डांस है कथक. और एक इसका जो रियल मीनिंग होता है ये होता है स्टोरी टेलर जो होता है. ठीक है, और ये बहुत ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. ठीक है, क्योंकि जो हमारे जो मैथोलॉजिकल टेक्स्ट हैं, जो हमारे जो पुराणिक टेक्स्ट हैं, उसको जो है थ्रू द डांस, थ्रू द म्यूजिक, और जो है थ्रू द जो है फिजिकल एक्सप्रेशन जो है इसमें प्रेजेंट किया जाता है. तो ये बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट डांस है. और मैं विश करता हूँ कि खुशी जो है अपने वॉइस के माध्यम से और जो है अपने परफॉर्मेंस के माध्यम से, दोनों से जो है ये इसको इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे ले जाएंगी. मैं यही प्रे करता हूँ.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू.
ठीक है,
Thank
और
you so
आपका
much.
प्रेजेंटेशन जो है वो बहुत अच्छा था. और जो है आपने जो है प्रेजेंटेशन हो या पीपीटी हो, वो दोनों ही जो है बहुत अच्छा था. और एक मुझे बहुत अच्छी चीज लगी कि आपने जो स्टार्ट किया वो इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम से जोड़ के स्टार्ट किया. ठीक है, तो ये बहुत अच्छी बात है कि हम वेस्टर्न पर्सपेक्टिव से अपने जो है जो हमारी अपनी नॉलेज है, जो हमारा जो भी है, हम वेस्टर्न पर्सपेक्टिव से, मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है कि आज जो है स्टूडेंट ने वेस्टर्न पर्सपेक्टिव से जोड़ना जो है छोड़ दिया है। ये प्रेजेंटेशन मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा और मुझे पहली बार जो है ये देखने को मिल रहा है कि इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम से अटैच करके कोई प्रोग्राम जो है, कोई बच्चा जो है अपना टॉक शुरू कर रहा है। मैं जब से जुड़ा हुआ हूँ, तो बहुत अच्छा जो है ये था आपका। और जो आपने जो क्लासिकल डांस के बारे में जो भी बताया कि कितना जो है रील जो है एक तरफ है और एक तरफ जो है ये जो है रियलिटी है क्लासिकल डांस में। तो 1 मिनट का वीडियो, ठीक है, जो होता है, और एक तरफ जो होता है कि एक जो परफॉर्मर होता है, आर्टिस्ट होता है, वो उसके कई साल का जो है प्रैक्टिस होता है उसमें, ठीक है। और ये कहीं ना कहीं जो है खल जाता है हमें कि 1 मिनट का वीडियो जो है अ, उसमें हर चीज नहीं दिखाई जा सकती है, ठीक है। और ये जो है 1 मिनट की वीडियो में नहीं, रील में 1 ही मिनट है या उससे भी 30 सेकेंड है, ठीक है। बट उसमें हमें क्या दिखाना पड़ता है, हम उसमें जो वो आर्टिस्ट है उसके जो है कई साल का जो है प्रैक्टिस है, जो प्योरिटी है हमारी क्लासिकल डांस की, हम उसको उसमें नहीं दिखा सकते हैं। जो मैसेज है जो हमारे क्लासिकल डांस को, उसमें भी उसको नहीं दिखा सकते हैं, ठीक है। और ये बहुत ही ज्यादा जो है सीरियस टॉपिक है और मुझे लगता है कि जो है कि हमें इसकी बात करनी चाहिए। आप जैसे बच्चे जब आगे आएंगे ना, तो हम एक ऐसे कंक्लूजन पे जरूर पहुंचेंगे कि जहां पे हम जो हमारे हजारों साल से जो चली हुई ट्रेडिशन जो आ रही है ना, उसको हम मॉडर्न टाइम पे, ठीक है, या आने वाले जो फ्यूचर में भी उसको जो हम जो है कंजर्व करके रख सकेंगे, ठीक है। अभी तक तो हम कैसे जैसे तैसे लेकर आए हैं, मगर ये रील वाली दुनिया में भी अगर आप जैसे जो है स्टूडेंट रहेंगे, लर्नर रहेंगे, थिंकर रहेंगे, तो हम डेफिनेटली जो है फ्यूचर में भी इसको प्रिजर्व करके रख पाएंगे। और हमारे आने वाली जो जनरेशन होगी वो इस पे जो है प्राउड करेगी, ठीक है, कि जो है हमने इतना जो है हमारी ट्रेडिशन इतनी ओल्ड है, ठीक है, हमारी जो है सिविलाइजेशन इतनी ओल्ड है, और जो है कि जो है, और हमारी जो हिस्ट्री है वो कितनी जो है ओल्ड है, रिच है, ठीक है। ये जो है, इसी के साथ बेस्ट विशेष खुशी, ओवर
Thank
टू
you, sir.
यू।
Thank you, sir.
Uh,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your remarks and for your thought-provoking words. And once again, thank you for joining us today as a guest of honor and for constantly supporting Graduate Scholars Talk series. Thank you, sir. Now, proceeding further, it is time to invite our next speaker, who is Mr. Shubh. And on next Sunday, he would be speaking on the topic Beyond Words, Visual Speech, Recognition, AI, and the Future of Human Communication. I would like to invite him now for explanation of his objectives and for inviting the audience for his upcoming 272nd GSTS talk.
Thank you so much, Salim sir, Mani sir, and the GSTS team for giving me the opportunity to be a speaker here again. So, good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to congratulate and thank Ms. Khushi for this wonderful talk, where she differentiated from the real and real life of the Indian classical dances. So, now let me introduce my topic. Just imagine for a moment you are trying to say something important but sound is not available. Maybe because the environment is too noisy, maybe because the silence is necessary, or maybe because the person speaking simply cannot produce the sound. Yet, communication is still needed. Now imagine, what if your mobile, the camera in your mobile, understand the speech without hearing a single word, just by observing the movements of the lip of the person? This idea forms the basis of my upcoming session. Beyond words, visual space recognition, AI, and the future of human communication. In this session, I will be discussing a fascinating area of artificial intelligence where computer systems are trained to understand speech visually only by the lip movements. In simple terms, my research involves teaching a machine to convert the lip movements directly into the text and further into the audio, even without any sound. And such systems may become useful, especially in the defense environments. You can say the Operation Sindoor, where communication through sound becomes difficult or risky. But during this research, one thing fascinated me even more. Most of the advanced work in fields like AI, and this especially in this visual recognition field, is usually associated with the massive infrastructure of European countries, a few of European countries. But interestingly, this project became a small attempt to explore whether meaningful innovation and research can also emerge from ordinary students working with limited, very limited resources and limited data and simple hardware, just a laptop, driven mainly by curiosity, persistence, and the problem solving. And interestingly, I'm pleased even under such constraints, the system was able to achieve promising results through architectural improvements and intelligent decoding methods. So the session will not only be about AI or lip reading. It will be about how machines attempt to understand humans, how communication may evolve in the future, and how students and young researchers can contribute meaningfully to emerging technologies. We will try to explore how AI tries to interpret visual communication, how machines learn patterns from lip movements, how the system was improved to achieve better accuracy, and what such technologies may mean for the future of our human communication and for our country itself. But somewhere the discussion also leaves us with a deeper question. What is exactly the real communication? In my opinion, perhaps the communication is not only about hearing sounds, but about understanding beyond them. I hope to see all of you next week in the next session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, GSTS team.
Thank you, Shubh. That is indeed a very interesting and a very different topic, and we'll surely a very different approach of a very popular topic actually, and we will surely join you on next Sunday. And it is time to wrap up today's talk session now, and let's continue this discussion with an open mind and a spirit of understanding. Thank you all for joining, and now I would like to hand over the moderation and the screen to Dr. Manish Karbar for wrapping up this session.
Thank you, Salendra. Why we need that computer understand that's more. So it's a really very unique question that why we give our whole personality to computers. Okay, from last 2 days, I was at till this GSTS, I was in a conference, not just a conference, Nalanda Delhi Dialogue 2026, where they try to raise some questions, some pertinent question, and try to recover the old school Nalanda. And they try to give us a sense about the Nalanda and the educational hub. So now these days, we are very much changing and new topics are everywhere. Even they create Nalanda through AI, even, and it's a look soothing, but somehow it hurts. Why? Because on the ground, suppose that I'm not against the robot, I'm not against the AI, but this whole GSTS 271, it's a very contrast. Khushi is talking about, has given us a sense about how the Kathak and dance form are like go away with the AI new technology. And our next speaker, Subha, is going to give us the lips reading and the idea. So it's a little bit confusing. So it's not that right now. Since so many years, I told my students we are living in a very complex society. Can you mute yourself for a minute? Yes, otherwise my voice is echoing. So we are living a very complex life, and we do not know how to solve this. And let us, if life is complex, that is not life. God gives us after, हम क्या बोलते हैं, इतने साल तपस्या करने के बाद हमें मनुष्य योनि मिला है. If life is tough, so something is wrong. If we are confused, something is wrong. If life gives a very straightforward answer, and जब इतनी तपस्या के बाद भी हमें इतना कंफ्यूजिंग लाइफ मिलना है, so it's my philosophical answer to both of my young scholars. So, but as a teacher, as a research professor, it's my duty to give some solution also. So what, like robot, in this conference, because from last so many days we are in the conference. Once, like we heard from African voice, we heard from Nalanda voice, and I'm listening to younger scholars voice. But so what's the solution? Whether the Khushi, Salendra, Ajay, so if that idea gives you some solution, though the idea is good. This is a very simple. If suppose that Kathak goes to the reel, it's gives something to us, something to society. I think no. 30-second reel. So we turn to the Kathak, we turn to the dance, and dance gives a holistic approach about your life, your personality. So those options, does not give you a solution, I think it is very painful, and it is very distress in the future. I do not know whether lips reading is become a very usual and good thing for those who are not the person who is not speaking. So for them, but how many? 0.5%, 0.1%. So this is very tricky, tough to be go on, but it's fine, because you people are giving us a sense of understanding, sense of the topic. But today's the star of the day is Khushi. We'll talk about the next Sunday. But Khushi, very proudly I say that you are on the right track. Do what you are doing. Yes, so why not you change the idea? Change the idea, that means you give the 5 minutes performance, so maybe erase the 10 seconds or 30 seconds. Who tells you, or who is telling that you do not perform 5 minutes video and go and upload and change the ideas? GSTS we are doing since 7th January 2021, and we do not change anything. 30 minutes to 30 minutes चल रहा है. देखो नहीं देखो, जब मन करेगा देखोगे. So what? Don't blame others, because God gives you a sense. Use that sense. You upload your video for 5 minutes, and you see in the coming days the 10 seconds or 30 seconds video is going to eradicate in on the YouTube and etc. So because everybody has the power to change something, that's why we are human being, Khushi. So I hope that you can change through your personality, through your ideas, through the dance, through everything. So all the best, Khushi, for a wonderful. And I'm not amazed that BTech student is learning dance, because few days I'm with so many bureaucrats, and every bureaucrats try to become Kathak dancer or Bharatanatyam or writing a book. I don't think in foreign policy or in the ministry this much stress is there. So it's fine. So you can because basically what we are why we are human being, because we consist the emotions, and emotions connect to the forms, and forms is dance, drama, music, and etc. So that's why, and it's another kind of emotions who drive the people who create the robot, AI, and extreme performance. But what is important? This is emotion. How we are driven by the emotions. The war and love, this everything is emotions. Nothing is AI and nothing is Kathak. How you express your emotions. This is called, if you are having only laptop or 10 by 10 room, you become a very good engineer. You become a very good professor. But you are having huge land, you have become a profound dancer, profound runner. So it's all about what you are having. This is the most important thing. So because I change 1% through this 20 by 20 room where I'm having. So because this is my emotion to certain change here and there. Salendra is sitting one place, and I think you are sitting also on ground, Khushi. It's not the height. You are sitting on the ground, one corner of your room, because the switchboard is to upper side. So I think so. It's your emotion. Sub is sitting the up the stairs. It's upside. It's his emotion. So everything is driven by emotion. Control your emotion and do the positive thing. This is my idea. And thank you, Khushi, Subh, Dr. Ajay, Salend, always listening to young scholars. It's very fruitful. So for me, if anything is going on, I have to go to one very important marriage, but I know मैं नहीं जाऊंगा, मैं GSTS पे रहना ही है, because I love to listen to young scholars. So thank you very much for giving us and my audience a very wonderful evening. Thank you very much, my loyal audience, for joining me day by day. This is shrinking, but it's life. Let's see. So thank you very much. Have a nice day, all. Principal, IQS in charge, teacher in charge, and one of the faculty member, Ajay Kumar. And maybe after the May, we can change the idea of GSTS, because the May month is a very important for the Shyam Lal Evening College and Department of History also. So maybe we can change the idea of GSTS also. So have a nice day. Thank you, Khushi. Be connected. It's very difficult, but be connected to the GSTS and spread this message.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Have a nice day. So listen to you next. How you lip reading creates the history. Okay, Salend. Thank you very much to creating history. Thank you. Thank you all. So it's time to leave. So we'll meet next Sunday on the same time. It's at 2:72.